Now, I've been talking about retrofitting, but I do want to say very quickly that this same high power CFL does a phenomenal job in new construction and major renovations. Typically, I mentioned earlier, the energy efficient anything cost is a premium over the incumbent technology. For instance, the Prius dual hybrid technology car automobile is an $8,000 to $15,000 premium over the gasoline version of a similar car. In the case of a high power CFL, the end user is going to pay at least $50 less for this new energy efficient technology versus the incumbent technology. Before you even turn the lights on, there's a $50 savings. Let's jump over to the very popular HighBay, linear HighBay option, generally T8 and T5. Some of the main reasons that I love a linear HighBay fixture is because you can control it. HighBay with bi-level motion sensing is a quick way to shorten your return on investment. Over time, the service costs are much lower because the cost of the lamp change is significantly lower. A wide variety of products are available in the market and full line of fixtures with tons of options, so you can really customize what you need for your job with a linear HighBay retrofit. Some of the features that you should look for in the brand that you're looking for your job. One, a ballast door. It seems simple, but quick story, my dad is a truck mechanic. I remember him pulling that Caterpillar engine half out of the truck just so that he can change the alternator, something that has to be serviced. And I remember him saying if they had given it just a little thought about the people who have to maintain the vehicle, it would have been so easy for them to put this in a different place. And that stuck with me, and well, long story short, today, to service a MaxLite HighBay fixture, you don't even have to take the fixture down. You don't have to take the reflector out at the bottom. Just flip open the door and take out the old ballast, put in the new. And we have terminal blocks set up so that all the wiring is done in one place, nice and neat. You don't have to find the wire nuts and reconnect and disconnect. It's all very neat and easy to do. And one can do it again without even taking the fixture down, just by disconnecting the power and doing a ballast swap. We'd also recommend looking for fixtures when you get that price quote to make sure that includes all the mounting hardware. Usually does, but I have heard some stories where fixtures went out in the field and learned later that the mounting hardware had to be purchased separately. We recommend at least a 20 gauge steel. It's kind of a good balance between quality and cost. And remember, steel gauges, the lower the number, the heavier the steel. So, you want a good 18-20. I wouldn't go less than that. Not if you want a longevity out of the product. Make sure that the manufacturer you're choosing has available to you photometric files and IES files so that you can do a layout. You want to see what the foot candles are going to be before the job even gets started. And that's generally free and it's generally easy. Certainly if you wanted a layout for one of your facilities, MaxLite can accommodate that. We could actually do two layouts, one showing the incumbent technology that you have presently and one showing a one-for-one swap out or a different type of retrofit so that you can see the before and after foot candles and energy consumption. And then last but certainly not least, is you do want to consider who is that supplier. Are they a brand that's going to be around in a couple of years? And very important, I think, is are they a brand that manufactures both the fixture and the lamp? The reason I bring this up is more than once I've witnessed the lamp manufacturer saying it's the ballast manufacturer saying it's the lamp. No one gets satisfied. The end user suffers, your customer suffers. If the manufacturer of the fixture/ballast is the same as the lamp manufacturer, like is the case with MaxLite, there are no warranty issues, there's certainly no finger pointing. Other options that you want to make sure that the manufacturer has available for you. You might only need one for the whole job, but a battery backup unit, make sure that they can accommodate that. Like I said, you may only need one or two for a whole job, but if you don't have them, you lose that whole job. In our case, we are using a Philips brand Bodine emergency ballast. Works fine with our fixture. You get at least 1300 lumens and you get a minimum of a 90-minute runtime. There is also what we call the high polish reflector. The brands out there are Miro 4 and Alzac and the like. Those are trademarks. They're all equally good. You want to make sure that it has a high polish finish so that the fixture can meet a 91% efficiency. There are programs around the country that have a minimum requirement of 91% efficiency, and these high polish reflectors that MaxLite offers, these brand names that I mentioned, do help the fixture to meet that requirement for those particular programs. Wire guard, which I think is a fundamental, most manufacturers have that. A lens cover with a door is preferable, but a lot of manufacturers have that as well. You want to always know your voltage in these applications and don't always assume it's 120 through 277. There's a good number of 480 volt out there, particularly in the West, where they run the higher voltages for the air conditioning runs and the like. In MaxLite's case, we offer a step-down transformer that brings it from 480 volts down to the 277 so that it falls within the operating range of the ballast. Others do it by using a 480 volt ballast that's dedicated to 480 volts. Either way is fine, just make sure that your manufacturer, your supplier does make that available to you. In our case, we are using a GE brand step-down transformer. Works great with our fixture. Motion sensing, as I mentioned, controls are everything. It can be the key to, I've seen controls cut return on investments by 40 to 60%, half on average. That's phenomenal. Now, in this case, with linear HighBay fixtures, it's very simple to have it wired for bi-level, which most prefer. And speaking of motion sensing, I think you know, but just in case, generally, you can only use motion sensing with T5 lamps. The reason being that the T5 ballast is a program start. When it starts that lamp up, it starts it up in a very gentle way. With kit gloves, it's nice and soft, and the lamp just loves it. As opposed to a T8 ballast, which is an instant start, and actually starts the lamp in a very aggressive way by forcing high voltage in a short period of time. The difference is with a program start ballast, the lamp starts, the frequency of turning that lamp on and off has no effect, where with a instant start ballast, the more frequently you turn that lamp on, the shorter the life of that lamp and the faster the depreciation of that lamp. So generally you don't put motion sensors with instant start ballast because you will have a short life of the lamps. But to protect those lamps, there are program start ballasts, and certainly in MaxLite's case, if you need motion sensing and a T8 fixture, we could accommodate you by putting in our program start ballast for your order. Very proud to show you some before and after slides. These are different applications from around the country. All of them were HID in advance, as you can see. And these were all linear afterwards. Some T8, some T5, some 4 lamp, some 6 lamp, but all much better off and better lit after than before. Very quickly, I'd like to share with you a fictitious layout. This is a faux building or set of buildings. These are triplets that are all exactly the same size, 200 by 100 feet with 20-foot ceilings. We have a 400 watt metal halide on the left, a 6 lamp T8 in the center, and a 200 watt HiMax on the right. Just so that we're all focusing on the same place, draw your attention to the bottom left corner. In blue, 28.7, which is the foot candle reading with that metal halide lamp on day 1. The HighBay fixture, T8 6 lamps, 25, 28, 25, virtually the same. And the MaxLite HiMax 200 watt at about 15. So 28, 25, 15. This is on hour 1. If we were to jump ahead to about the 3,000 to 4,000 hour mark, that 400 watt metal halide would be more like 18 foot candles. The T8 6 lamp would be like 22, and the HiMax 200 watt would be about 13, 14. If you go another 3,000 hours, the metal halide would be far below the 200 watt. So when you consider means lumens over lifetime, all 3 of these are options, but you must look at the power consumption, which for the metal halide, 458 watts per fixture. For the T-Bay type fixture, about 200, and for the high power CFL, about 150 watts. There's a good number of fixtures in this job, tremendous energy savings as you go further to the right. As always, we appreciate your attendance. We had a great number of viewers today, maybe a record, and we don't take that lightly. We know your time is valuable, and we hope that we have contributed to your knowledge base and understanding of these applications. Look for this live webinar posted to YouTube and MaxLite.com in the next couple of weeks. All of you who have visited us live will receive today a PowerPoint presentation copy of this webinar, as well as the spreadsheet that I referred to earlier. And I see a good number of questions here as well. We will answer those questions, put together a list of questions from this webinar with the answers, and send them all to you later this afternoon. And again, all of that will be posted to the web in about 2 weeks or so. Thanks again for coming. We appreciate it. See you next month.